Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of 12 Gauge Uncut. Nation, the 12 Gauge Nation, let me start off by addressing you first of all. So I start this podcast tonight with a little bit of fire, a little bit of rumble because, I got tagged in just an asinine little comment thread that's been going on right now. So yes, I'm well aware that KLT and Primetime Wrestling have decided to run head-to-head this week. Now, I don't condone anyone's actions as far as being and not having the balls to address a simple fact that Primetime Wrestling, Sean Ambrose, and the rest of the crew knew exactly KLT's schedule. They run every 2 weeks. That's been a standard from this time. So to post an episode, on Primetime's site stating that you feel disrespected and hurt because KLT chose to run against you and you feel disrespected by such. Come on, guys, really? You say that you want people to have two different options. I have no problem with competition, and I have no problem with both companies wanting to fight and be number one. You should, but have the balls to admit it. Don't post stupid posts that you are innocent and you want all fans to have their own options and things like that to see. Both promotions, albeit, everyone besides Ricky Wiggins, would help any promotion. Now, unfortunately for you guys, that's worked out for you far too often. Now, you're deciding to take the advantage and shoot for the spot of the number one promotion, and you're trying to run Ricky out of Rome in KLT. That's fine. Let the better man win. Now, but be honest with the fans. Don't lie to them. Don't say I'm here to run a business and we're just going to be happy if you show up to both shows. No, you want them to be at your show, or they need to be at KLT. So ultimately the fans will decide this factor of who and what they want to see. As for me, Saturday night, I'll be at KLT. Not really much to discuss there. As far as, your support, come on, guys. I would crack on both, and I have commented. I've gotten flack about the storytelling that, my last comment. But let's talk about being real with our posters. We're going to front and center to get everybody's attention, which I don't blame you. We're going to put the biggest set of boobs in your face on, our female website, which finally, congratulations, you got more than the same two females fighting each other for an event. Now, as far as your lumberjack match, Todd versus Randy, come on, hadn't the fans saw that at KLT for the last 30 years? So let's be honest. Not going to be much newness there. So you are now promoting a picture of Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Buff the stuff. Now, I guess it would be nice if I could post all of my promo pictures when I was 25 years old. But Buff looks nothing like he did when he was 25 and he was in WCW. But congratulations on really working the kayfabe there like the man hasn't aged since WCW. Wow. I mean, come on, guys. Some of us have earned our gray hairs, and we'll wear them proudly. Not 25 anymore. Several of us in this promotion are not, on either side. So let's not play off things that just aren't true. So I'm starting off probably really hot and heavy because 12 Gauge Uncut is exactly what it's always meant to be. It's raw and uncut. I am not here to babysit your feelings. We're going to talk real. We're going to talk about the things going on at KLT Saturday, because I'm going to leave primetime right there at the beginning. But I hope the best show to them. But my criticisms are what they were. If it would have been KLT, if Chris Lightning would have put a picture of Sting on there and it would have been his blonde hair and rat tail, he'd got the same comments from me as Primetime did. So let's keep it real. So moving on, let's say Suicide is coming to KLT. Then Caleb, is it McConley? I'm going to refer. Sometimes you forget your notes on the fly, but is going to be facing Chris Kamikaze. Now, for the title, it's an NWA star. Can Chris back up his claims of saying he's the best in KLT? Is he actually the best in Georgia? Or as he says, he's the best of all time? Chris has proven me wrong as far as he did, again, I'm going to call this out. He had some assistance from Zach Riley, and Zach Riley still hasn't got his flowers for tipping over that ladder and taking Lamar out of that title defense. Because, to be honest, with Zach being where he was and Chris being where he was, if it was not for Zach Riley, I say the retaining champion would have been Lamar Phillips that night. So, maybe Lamar and maybe even Zach's living on borrowed time as far as this goes with this title run. Now, as far as we're moving on, I want to call out a few things as far as Coastal Championship Wrestling and Zach Mosley. Please, I'm going to put some links up on there pretty soon so that you can take a look at those. Zach reached out to me and asked me to mention those, and I'm going to do a little bit better job in the process of actually start advertising some of these guys. I'll start pulling together some clips, and maybe we can talk about a little bit more. And I'd like to have Zach on. We're going to call him up one day and get Zach on here. Then we can talk a little bit more about the other promotions that he's in. We still got big plans coming forth. I had such an interview. I want to shout out Eric Adams. Me and him had such a great interview that just technically didn't work out the way that I wanted it to, and did not sound to the quality that we wanted it to produce. But Eric Adams' story was amazing, man. And we're going to get back to that real soon. And when y'all hear that, undoubtedly probably be one of the most favorite podcasts that I've done and that no one has ever heard. And we're going to make sure that you hear that. There is going to be a lot of hurt feelings, to be honest, on either side, and maybe all sides shots fired when it comes to Eric. Eric is a great guy, very passionate, and he's got a lot to say, but he has a great story behind him. So I wanted to encourage you to listen to that when it comes about. I'll probably make tonight a little bit shorter than normal or an average, because it's just me. And then I'm gonna go into a little bit off skid wrestling too, as far as a lot of you have asked, and, again, about personal updates as far as where Rocky Shaw stands. Um, if those of you have been following my site and we're having a GoFundMe right now, symptomatic wise, or symptoms wise, I have been experiencing a lot of shortness of breath. It's getting far worse. My memory and anybody who knows me, my wit is quick, has been dampened quite a bit, as far as my processing time and my memory. It's really due to the physical factors, other than having a job that doesn't really require much physically, which, I mean, as well as I do, those aren't falling off the tree in anybody's lap by any means. It's definitely been a problem. Checking the mail, exhausts me, wears me out. And that's not to say it's a normal process of this problem, and I'm not letting that get me down. It frustrates me, yes. But I have that goal in mind, that surgery set, December 12th, and the old Rocky dies on that table, and another one's reborn again. Just like the Phoenix, I'm going to renew and I'm going to come back stronger. That's what I've done every time that I've fallen, is I get back up and I come back stronger. So what you're going to expect out of me is what I expect out of myself. And I want you to keep me accountable on here. As soon as I'm recovering and capable, I'll be back in the gym. I'll be rebuilding the blocks that made the 12 gauge, but we're going to carry it a step further. At that point in time, I don't care if you're in Deep South, KLT, prime time, whatever you want to call yourself. If you want to prove yourself, you'll go through me to prove yourself. Because as far as North Georgia goes and Rome, you damn right I'm going to claim it as my house once more. And so be ready for that. As far as the fans go, again, guys, I thought of today, as far as my comments, I've already got a good idea who's really winning out on that. I want you guys to participate. Talk to me on there, because I would like to pick out a few fans that I call in and bring on the podcast and talk, because so many other wrestlers, and you've heard them say the fans are everything, and we need you for everything. But do we ever really prove that? Do we bring you in to our world at times? Yeah, sometimes in the ring you get brought into that world. But now maybe we can offer I can offer something different. I can start bringing you into my world, and we'll have a conversation one-on-one. What a fan wants to hear, what a fan's opinions are. Man, I would love, let's keep it, in reasonable terms. I don't want to be offensive to anyone, but let's talk truth. Let's have a fan come on and tell us what they think about the primetime KLT rivalry. As I said, healthy competition's a good thing. I have no problem with it. But let's start hearing from some of you fans, and start hitting me up in the comments. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what you think. You might notice there's been small improvements over the podcast. There's a little bit of decor change. I would honestly, I guess my wife calls us, because I'm a man, right? A comforter behind us that I would like to replace with something like a solid color, maybe a black or something that's a little bit less obtrusive on the podcast than this multicolored blue design that we have. But, I'm a working man just like the rest of you guys, and right now I'm not even working. So beggars can't be choosers. when it comes to what we have. And so I hope you do. Was gifted the light behind us. You will see one of my monikers at this point is "Don't Quit." So I want that to be a symbol for you. And eventually, in time, we're gonna add something a little cooler there. I would like to have that sign replaced, and we're still gonna have the "Don't Quit" sign in this shot scene somewhere. Maybe right here somewhere. Maybe that's gonna be where that comes to, and then we're going to put right where it's at. I'd like to have a 12 gauge uncut sign. I think that'd be pretty high, right? The bookshelf, kind of like you can see the neon lighting back there is kind of popping loose, so the adhesive's not doing quite the job it was supposed to on that. So I got to rework that part of the design. But now moving on to, let's talk the fact that, guys, the GoFundMe, I want to be honest with you. It's running because we have limited options right now, and the options will change. And I realize that over time, and everybody's experiencing hard times. And if it were me personally, and the only person that would be punished from, me being out of work was me, if the power bill didn't get paid and the water, if that was just on me, and I was the only one that had those repercussions, wouldn't care, would say a word to you. I could sleep under a bridge and fight my way back to the top. But I do have a wife and kids. They've given a lot to support me and to support me through this process of pro wrestling. My oldest is working on college applications. And hopefully those are going to be full rides she's looking at Ivy League schools like Vanderbilt, which, guys, you understand, we're poor and we're broke. We're like everyone else. No, I don't take pity in that. I've not had, the money that I would have hoped to had my whole life. And at about 43, 44 here, I'm not anywhere that I anticipated being as far as financial wise. And I think a lot of you can understand that, and you feel that exactly the same. But there's been some pillars in the society right now that have really backed and held me up. And I would like to mention some names. I know they probably would prefer me keep them quiet. But TK Hamilton, Media Roofing, JJ was with Smoothie King, and then can't forget Keith Osmond, Spartan Smoothie, Hydrate. I'm gonna forget their Keith, the man of multiple businesses. Craig McDaniel, people that have been really right there behind me, supporting and pushing. Stuart Bratcher, one of my brothers from Leadership Rome. So, Alma Roman, Alma and Joe, big special shout out to you. Ran into them at Aldi the other night. Alma and Joe both sat down and talked to me, gave me some encouragement. Alma then was in the grocery store with Tania, took some time and talked to her, uplifted her. As far as work, TK has been giving me several things to do with the capabilities that I am, and what I am good at is multimedia, right? So we've done several things for him right now. If you look at his clips, we've changed them into reels, added captions, and I really try to pick out a message that is, I guess you would say, quality that TK wants to be produced. And that's what I like to do for each and every one of my, the people that come to us. Is I like to add my flair, but I also want to take your signature, but there has to be a quality to level to it that I'm happy with. You've got to be happy with it, but I've also got to be happy with it, because it carries my stamp of approval. And my stamp of approval is very important to me, that when someone looks at it, that they know that Rocky Shaw has touched that product and made a significant quality difference when it came from my hands compared to anyone else's. Now, that's not discrediting anyone else's quality level, but I have a level of expectation set upon myself for what we produce. And, you can ask Tania if you want to ask her anytime. I'll annoy her because, I can see something and she's probably done an excellent job. I'm probably going to modify 30 to 40% of it. And it's not anything based on her. It's based on where my level is set in my head of what I expect the product to have, or what I might see based on my knowledge and of marketing, my creativity, or whatever my vision, and as far as what my brand says. If you will look out, and I promise you, everything that you see in this set, even though it's my bedroom, carries a piece of me and my brand to you visually. The Don't Quit sign is not accidental. The blue cable that's lined up here, the blue watch, the orange ring. I'm sorry if that actually jarred the mic a little bit and you got a little bit of feedback from that. Superman and Batman back here in the corners. The orange cable, everything on my desk that's visible. And there's things that you can't see yet that eventually the set will become from another angle, because I'm planning on adding different camera angles to this as well, so that you'll be able to see, another shot from this direction, and maybe possibly in the future there'll be another direction here. Maybe we'll have 3 shots at some point in time. But that's all given time. We got to get through December before I make any more major changes. The setup is, I'm quite happy with how things are coming about right now. And, I work within those things right now. I've got to make sure that keeping the power on, keeping the lights on, so that we can bring this to you each and every week. And I apologize, I've been a little late on this. Like everybody else, got through a Halloween. We had some stomach viruses come through the house, It's typical this time of year, right? So, I want to close that out with you and just remind you that some of the biggest things you can do is if you can help as far as the GoFundMe goes. I love that. If the GoFundMe is not your thing and you want another way to assist us, we do have Cash App, other things that you can reach out to me privately if you just are opposed to GoFundMe, which I've had people that way. No, that's okay. That's not a problem whatsoever. That was just the easiest thing that we could set up so that multiple people could give without actually going through a lot of channels, and they could do it in their own way. So that is there. There are other options. Reach out to me or Tania. Would be glad to share the information with you as far as it be Cash App whatsoever. Now, I want to go back just a little bit and say that I have heard one comment that was, it is, why does Rocky Shaw ask so much questions and, is about birth dates, favorite colors, things like that. Okay, so I will promise you this. What I am doing is challenging engagement on the page. No, my information not is fishing for your passwords, for your bank accounts, or other things by using information that you give me. That's far too much time for me. And I'm an honest person, so I'm not going to steal your money. Add jail time to my already list of existing physical issues, it's not something I would look forward to doing. So that being said, it's to increase engagement. Some of you take your tinfoil hats off. It's really nothing more than that. Facebook does monetize my page based on the amount of followers that I have. As of this viewing, somewhere around 7,080. And when you all share, you like, that's a great way to help me. They actually pay me based on your activity on my page. That's the same thing with affiliate marketing. You'll see me share ads with Amazon. If you will click on my links, even if you do not purchase the exact product I showed you to, and you check out, they will give me a small commission for driving the fact that you went from my page to their page. So just sending you their way. You don't pay a dime difference. Amazon pays it out of their end and their profits. So they assist us in paying the bills, making Facebook better, making this podcast better, making my life better. And hopefully when I share some of this information like you and I share my heart and kind of let you know what we're doing. Tania's podcast, by the way, big shout out to it. Still starting out. She's working on getting her next episode up. A Ginger and Her Dog. She is an audio only podcast at the moment. I'm not saying we won't change that, but right now she's quite happy with and content with that section of it. And maybe we'll add some reels, something like that, so that you can get some video pieces from it. Again, there's a lot going on, and guys, big shout out to her. If you see her, give her a hug, pat her on the back. Maybe not hug her because, unless you know her really well, because I don't want you to get punched or slapped. Those redheads can be cantankerous at times. No, I'm just kidding with you. She's a sweet girl, but when you get down to it, though, she's going through a lot. To have a husband that's about to be down, that is involved in a little bit of the round. I mean, guys, housework, hands down, she does every bit of it. But as far as this technology goes, the processes in the house, how to run this podcast, she's got in 12 gauge promotion, even for a week in a media company. If I'm down and out in healing, there's a lot happening. The bills are still coming in, questions are still coming in, jobs still needing to be done. And I'm going to be in a position where, I'm going to try to help her, but how fully involved and engaged I am in that healing process right there at the beginning, the first week or two, who knows? I don't even know what to, I've had some people talk to me a little bit about their experience, but everybody's experience is different, right? You being cut open and me being cut open, there's a whole different reactions to the medicines, the physical, the mental toll. Man, guys, we just talked about this a little bit, actually at a bonfire with the guys, and me, I'm going to chase rabbits, and we just found one. We had a bonfire between me and the boys, so big shout out to the gun club. They know exactly who they are, and you guys do too if you follow me. It was a much needed time for all of us together, for guys to blow off some steam and bond. And most of these guys, including me, haven't had a relationship with each other like we do in the bond that we share between each other. Now, wrestlers, the boys can tell you there's a bond that you have when you sweat and bled with someone that you just can't really compare, or there's nothing like it. But on another level, it goes even further because, it has been a topic. Some of us grew up, boy, I'm Gen X to the bone. I grew up where men didn't cry. Men didn't show weakness. And a lot of my friends now didn't really come up from that. So they're a little more open, and I've had to learn to be a little more open. I'm not I've always been that guy that if you hurt me, I'll cut you off and cut you out, and end of the problem, end of the day, so long. And so my group's always been small. It still is small, and it'll probably always continue to be small. I'll take 3 good guys over an army of so-called friends any day. And with my boys, I do actually have that. They are loyal, fiercely loyal, sometimes to a fault. I will say it's times when you guys mess with me online and you get clubbed by the boys taking defense. I love them, and rarely will I shoot back, because some of you don't really know me, so attacking me is just sometimes a normal thing. Some of you just and you know who you are, you're scared and you're afraid. I would be too, because I'm not built like anyone else. When I come at you and I'm competitive, I'd be scared, because I'm going to win each and every time, because I don't quit. And my group of boys know that. And we knew exactly when we started this podcast, and we started each and every one of these motions that we put into effect, that the crowd, the fans would follow us. Y'all would stand strong. And my group, the 12 Gauge Nation, is already built stronger than most of these so-called people have individually with them. So the people speak volumes. You want to know who I am? Get to know me. Look who I surround myself with. The people that, and you should do much the same. Talk and find you a group of friends. Find you someone you can talk to. I mean, I portray online because there's not a better way to encourage you guys that I don't say, hey, I'm having a rough day, that that the best thing for me would have been able to do is sit in my car and cry because I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills today, or I don't know how my kids are going to get money to go to their field trip or project or whatever. And I feel a lot less of a man because I'm not capable of going out and making that money the way I used to. I can't physically go mow a lawn. I can't go cut down some trees. I'm at the point right now with it, tying my shoes is exhausting. I can't get in the ring like I want to and give you fans the entertainment that you want. And even though it's physically not there, to me, in my heart and my passion is to be there. So none of that's burned out. I just physically can't do what I want to do. And that takes a mental toll on you that along with this economy that's crushing. I mean, you see people, we talk about people all the time in our lives, and we talked about this weekend, and I celebrated a friend I lost due to the stress of life. And Nathan Gaddy. So that was, remember the 5th of November was something that became a tribute to him, and it will always be a tribute as long as I'm living. And then I now passed it on to my group of boys they can celebrate this. And so his memory keeps going on further. Something that a little piece of him has become immortalized, at least, and maybe it always will. So they enjoyed their time. They'll pass that memory on of what I've taught them and who he was in that conversation every November 5th after this. And so after I'm long gone, maybe they'll teach their kids. So, and in essence, there was more than one memory that travels on through that. And so, that's, again, listen to the podcast. You're learning a little bit more about me than, most know. But that mental aspect, just going back to that, it's hard. Us guys don't talk. We don't talk about our problems. We don't talk about our stress. We don't talk about, that deadly thing that it's hard because the weakness is just not accepted in this society, and it doesn't really do you any good. You talk about it. At the end of the day, sadly, except for a group of small people that still have that passion, they tell you they care, but I'm a living example. Out of 7,080 people, I named off maybe 5 that have actually kept up with me, talked to me, checked with me, not only saying that it, guys, and forgive me if I say it, and I'm going to step on toes again. I love you, but just saying praying for you doesn't mean much. Everybody says praying for you. Are you really? Are you in my corner? Are you just filling something out online to make yourself feel better or make yourself look better? So think about that. As far as I often tell people, I was like, I don't even say when someone passes away that, what can I do for you? Because everyone says that. You really can't do a whole lot unless you do volunteer something that does make time. So, when you say that, make sure that you're not, I'm not going to take any offense by that, but I would rather you say nothing at all than you give me some kind of plastic response to something that you have no intention of doing or taking that sacrifice. If you really care, there's proof. There's ways to show it. There's so many things that, in our life right now that we could use, even if it's just a good conversation or a heartfelt, what can we do? And you look at it to see if there is something you can do. Not everything's about money. The money is helpful because it gets the bills paid, and we get to travel on to the next month. And I don't expect anyone to keep us up, but we need to get through and we need to survive until I get back on my feet. So at least until I get healed, Tania she has things that she's working on and jobs that she's, lined up for, but someone's got to care for me for at least the first few weeks until I'm completely capable of handling the things on my own when no one's here. I'm hoping that won't be long, but again, right now it's a wait and see thing until this process is over with. So I'm going to close that out and encourage you though. If it's not me, there's a lot of people that need help out there. Look at it. Be honest with yourself. Don't answer and don't reply to stuff's called just to make you feel better. If you are serious about helping someone and you're going to say that you're going to pray for them, ask them what else you can do from there. Really don't. It doesn't, all of us can attest that's been on this end, and you're stressed, and when someone says that to you, it doesn't mean anything. It just feels like filler words. And I don't know about some of you guys, but I'm too old for filler words. I'm all about action at this point in my life. So step up or step out. And that being said, this Saturday is the Saturday, right? Yeah. KLT Wrestling. I'll still, as far as I know, I'll still be filming KLT this Saturday. We'll have a great show. Come out and support us. You guys, my fans, my familia, um, come out and see us. Each and every time, love my fans, love the kids, love those pictures, man. Go out to Las Mesas, get in front of there and take a picture of that sign and post that for me. That's one of the biggest smiles I get. Jamie Landers, big shout out. Thank you for that. The rest of you get out there. Heath Swanson sent me a picture on there, and I think we shared that one. Man, he's ugly, but it's good to see his face up there. And so I challenge the rest of you, get out there, go to Las Mesas, and let's take a minute. And I am actually, forgive me for not having the script ready yet. It's going to be added in the next podcast, is silver pest control. So, it's that time of year, man, when it's cold. And right now I'm getting swamped by Asian beetles. They're like ladybugs, but they're little blood-sucking ladybugs. They bite me. Right now they're swarming on every light that I have in the house trying to attack me. So call Silvers, tell them what's going on. Tell them, give you a price and a quote. Talk to Kelly. Tell Kelly the 12 gauge Rocky Shaw sent you, and get you some pest control. Again, Silvers Pest Control in Rome, Georgia, and they serve the surrounding areas. I'm actually going to have Tania record a script this week, and it'll be added into next week's podcast, so that we have that thorough. Big shout out again, Stuart Bratcher and Luke Martin. So Bratcher Law Firm, Bratcher and Martin. If you get in trouble, man, those are the super lawyers to call. So my best advice is save yourself some time and keep it clean, keep your head straight. But if you fall into those categories where your temper falls out of control, or you just make some really stupid decisions, call my brothers at Bratcher and Martin, and maybe they can help you out. So some representation is better than no representation when it comes to the legal system now. So with that being said, guys, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the 12 Gauge Nation, because by God, this is 12 Gauge Uncut. This is episode 20. So we are at a landmark. Most episodes, most podcasts don't make it past 7, and the rest around here just suck. So join me until next time, and always beware the 12 gauge.